Shifting my identity has brought me an incredible amount of success in my life. I used to be obese when I was younger. I binge ate a ton due to anxiety, due to a lot of mental health issues I was having, and I literally gained 85 pounds. I wasn't obese my entire life. I went from being skinny to being obese, gaining 85 pounds. But shifting my identity allowed me to lose 65 pounds, get into the gym, build muscle, and now feel like an athlete, feel like I'm healthy. Shifting my identity has also built me a business. I have an online business. I earn 6 figures a year. I'm a digital nomad. Right now I'm in Mexico in Puerto Vallarta. I have an Airbnb with some of my friends. And speaking of these friends, shifting my identity has gotten me to the most loving, authentic, long-term relationships I could ever ask for. People that I know till the day I die that they'll be by my side, I'll be by their side, we'll be traveling, we'll be doing things with. I feel more lucky to have these relationships than anything else I've been able to achieve, yet shifting my identity has brought me there. And I want to make this video to just outline everything I know about this practice because it is overpowered. It is so powerful, and I don't see enough people talking about this. Shifting your identity is a tool, a technique, something that you can use whenever you are at point A and you want to get to point B. You'll find as you start progressing in different habits, as you start progressing in business, in relationships, that a lot of it comes down to who you see yourself to be. What beliefs do you have about the world? Because your beliefs about what you think is true about yourself and the world defines what actions you think that you can take. If we were to zoom into some impoverished country in a school system with specifically a middle school or high school, and you talk to a kid from there, they're only going to be limited by what the kids around them have told them, what their parents have told them, what the books that they've read have told them, right? Let's say they didn't have internet in this place. That person is only going to be able to perceive the options that they've experienced and seen up to that point. And the same goes with you and me. We're only able to view the options, the actions that we can take from what we believe to be true from the world and life we've experienced so far. And so shifting your identity becomes extremely important because we can expand what we believe we're capable of, how we believe that we are as a person. And this allows us to take the correct actions in order to get the outputs we want. We can change the causes to get different effects. And this can apply in your relationships, in your health, in your wealth, in your business. I've seen this play out in tons of different areas. But the first step in order for this to work, it's the first step that is the most important. And when I talk to most people around me, it's where they get stuck on. It's believing that you're malleable. It's believing that you can change, that you can shift your identity and your beliefs. Especially as people get older, they get super locked into what they believe to be true. People have this need to confirm what they already believe to be true, to win the argument, to win their way of life. Yet that always will keep you at a certain level. If you're the type of person who have gotten the results that you have in your life right now, then if you keep confirming those same beliefs and you keep taking those same actions, why would you get anything different? You're doing the same things. You're hitting your head against a wall, expecting something else to happen besides your head hurting against the wall. It's a weird analogy, I know, but hey, it came up. Believe that you are malleable. Believe that you can change. Believe that everything you know about yourself, in your health, in your relationships, in the amount of money you can make, can be completely different. That you can look back at where you are right now and laugh at what you used to believe to be true. Even right now, when you think of 5 years ago, 7 years ago, literally think back to who you were then. Isn't it almost funny what you believe to be true then? Some of the things that you just took completely for granted for truth. Because I definitely do, some of the things that I believed. And now looking back, I've changed so much, and the way that I see the world and myself has changed so much. I can only imagine what's going to happen looking forward. So first, Just get that into your system. Start to believe that you can change your identity. And the second step is to change your environment. I'm going to give you the third step after, which are more of the actual habits. These are more the tools that you can literally do right now that can shift your identity. But before that, changing your environment is extremely powerful, more powerful, I'd say, than some of these habits. Maybe I wouldn't say that, but it is a good first step if you aren't already good at the habits, if that makes sense. Once you build skill in these habits that I'm going to give you in just a second, then it's pretty overpowered. But your environment is something you can change right now and see effects in immediately. You don't have to build a skill for. So you have your physical environment and then your digital environment. Your physical environment is more obvious. Like if you were talking to someone who wants to lose weight and they're like, oh my God, I just keep snacking, I keep eating all this trash fruit from outside, I would go in their house and I would remove all the snacks from their house. And then their perceived options are only healthy things, right? It's a really obvious example of someone on how to stop snacking. In the same way, your beliefs can be determined by who you have around you. You've heard that quote, you're the sum of the 5 people you're around the most. This is very true, but it's kind of outdated because most of us are on our phones, we read books, we do different things, we consume different sources of information. The updated knowledge is you're not just the sum of the 5 people you're around, but you're the sum of all the authors you consume in your books. You're the sum of all the content you're consuming. You're the sum of just what you consume throughout the day in terms of information, wherever it comes from. That's what you're the sum of. And so if you're surrounded by people that are draining your energy, if you're surrounded by people who have very small goals in their life, you're going to believe that that's normal and you're going to conform to that. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so ambitious. That's so weird. And you're going to almost just put that away. And so the best possible thing you could do is just be around multimillionaires or people who are making an insane impact in the world. This doesn't mean you have to cut out your old friends. Like, no, I'm traveling with a few people who don't work at all, who have just been traveling the world, and they're my OGs, like they're my ride or dies. I have no judgment towards them. It doesn't mean you have to cut out these people, but it does mean that you should start to read more books that inspire you to the type of person you want to be, to authors, to autobiographies, to the authors, the people who've lived these great lives that you feel really inspired by. It means consuming content from people you want to be like. If you want to build an online business, then watch more of my videos, right? If you want this sort of lifestyle, then watch more of my videos, consume more of me, because then you'll become more like me. You'll absorb my beliefs. Reading books is a great way to do this. You actually just get 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of someone's life condensed in these pages of their beliefs, their thoughts, their feelings. And it's almost like you're talking to them. You're just surrounded by them. You get to add them to your environment. When you do these sort of things and when you get exposed, like for example, another way you can change your environment, right? I used to, before I started a business, I was working in an AI startup. And at this startup, I would see every single day on the Stripe dashboard, like the payment processor, how much money that business was making. And it got super normalized to me to make multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I was seeing the revenue. I was seeing the amount of customers I was creating that. I was seeing the transaction logs, the credit cards, like all this stuff. It became very normal to me that you can make multi-6 figures a month. And of course, there's people who make multi-7 figures, multi-8 figures per month in the world. But at least for me, just to expand my belief to that next level, it was insane to just over time, over the months that I was working at that startup, to just get exposed to that information. And so whatever goal you have in your health, wealth, relationships, just surround more of what that goal means, what that looks like. Read books, find new people, pay for mentorships. That's another thing that most people are scared to do. I paid $6,000 a few weeks ago to be around someone who I wanted to be like more. And now they're actually helping me in my business, and we have this whole, different type of relationship based on that transaction. But don't be afraid to spend money for coaching, to spend money to be in those circles where you're going to be able to expand this identity. Because again, you shift your identity, you shift your beliefs, you shift the actions you believe you can take, which makes you do different causes, which gets you different effects. And the final thing are these habits, these extremely powerful habits that if you start doing these every single day, twice a day, you will see some insane shifts in your life. And the two habits are visualization and affirmations. Visualization is best taught through a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. You can go read that book if you want. It's written by this plastic surgeon who would do plastic surgery for different patients. And he saw that some people, after they got rid of their hideous scar on their face, came back to him and was like, "Oh my God, my life changed completely. Thank you so much." And other people came back to him after getting rid of the hideous scar and was like, "Nothing changed in my life. I want my money back. Like, what did you even do?" Even though that scar was gone, right? And so it brought this author on this journey of learning about psycho-cybernetics, or the art of cybernetics, or the science, I should say. And it's all about the self-image and altering it, which is what this whole video is about, right? Visualization is holding an image in your mind's eye. It's when you close your eyes, and if I were to ask you to just picture exactly what you're doing right now, like if you're sitting in bed on your phone, or if you're looking at your TV or your laptop, just close your eyes and just try to picture an environment exactly how it looks like looking through your own eyes. Just picture it. That is visualization. And what you're able to do is you can manipulate what this image looks like to create artificial experiences that trick your brain into thinking they're the real experience. Your brain is actually unable to tell the difference between real life and your mind's eye experience. And so this creates such a powerful tool where part of shifting your identity is giving yourself evidence of the type of person you are. Like, for example, if I'm at 6 figures a year and I'm trying to get to 7 figures a year right now, when I visualize, I picture myself on kind of like this, huh? No, I picture myself in a penthouse in New York City. I'm in Mexico, so you can get these types of places for pretty cheap. But I picture myself in a penthouse in New York City with a pool. And I'm sitting there on my laptop on the side, happily working away. I visualize that as my apartment. I visualize the movie theater room. I visualize the beautiful, beautiful kitchen I have, the beautiful apartment I have. I visualize all of this and make it feel as real as possible. But what's really important about this is that you start to feel the emotions of what that visualization brings you. So it's not just the apartment, it's not just those luxury things that you're imagining, but you're imagining the pride you feel. You're imagining that like fuck you money status that you feel making that. You imagine yourself with all your friends there enjoying your place, like how you would actually feel if your friends were there and you were feeling that experience. When you tie the emotion to the image, that's when it gets sticky. That's when you're actually changing your identity in your subconscious. It's really, really powerful. And so you can use this in a bunch of different ways. When I was trying to wake up at 6 a.m. and jump into a cold shower and get into deep work immediately, I started visualizing, like opening my eyes in my bed, jumping out of bed, running down the stairs, getting into the cold shower, and feeling like a boss because I was doing that. I started visualizing that, and then it was a lot easier to actually do it. It's going to get really weird when you do this for the first time and you see that these things actually start to happen. It's really weird. It's really powerful. And the other habit is affirmations. Very similar to visualization, just in the way that you're trying to get to that emotion and that place of being the type of person that you want to be. I have so many different affirmations. I have like 40 in like a slideshow that are really powerful and cover a lot of different areas. I have, like, for example, right? I was trying to get to 12-hour work days. I was trying to enjoy work a lot more than I used to. And I was actually able to make this transformation using visualization and affirmations. And the affirmation that I was using is, I love hard work. I love pushing myself. Work is not work to me. Work is a form of self-expression and art. I love my work. So you'd get these sort of statements that you could say your future self, your ideal self, would say with confidence. You make these statements and you try to feel emotions as you say them to yourself. And when you do that, you're doing the exact same thing. You're rewiring your subconscious. You're rewiring your identity. And you're rewiring yourself to be more like the person you're trying to be. And it's the most backwards thing, which kind of wraps up this whole video, which is that in order to become the type of person you want to be, who gets all the things you want, who is doing the actions that you want to be taking ideally, you almost have to brainwash yourself and change your identity first so that you spawn in, so that you start taking those actions. And your greatest enemy in this process is imposter syndrome. is not believing in yourself, not believing you're already that type of person. But when you use all of these things, when you believe you're malleable, when you change your environment, your physical and your digital environment, and then you start visualizing and affirming twice a day, that's when you're going to be more likely to take those actions, and then you'll start to get the evidence, and then those affirmations, visualizations, everything starts to make more sense, more believable, sorry. And then you actually get the things. And I'm living proof of this. I got to this point from being obese and a loser. I am literally on a rooftop with an infinity pool in Mexico, living my dream life. And I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to keep documenting how all of these habits have changed my life as I get to 100K a month, 1 million a month and beyond, impacting more and more people, helping more and more people. I'm living evidence of this working. So please trust me, try all this out and see how it changes your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more of my stuff, just go to the description. I got products. Go to my channel for more free help. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.